Alright, a few things. One is I've got all the windows open, so you may hear some birds chirping and the odd person, whatever, doing, and I've got the music a little bit on. Hopefully it's not too loud. And I'll tell you what I'm doing with the 8th Army, but I'll just finish up a little bit with the 6th Army, mentioning that so after the brouhaha with the 3rd Carpathian Cavalry Brigade over here, managing more or less the impossible of fending off 4 reserve infantry divisions and an artillery brigade. Okay, during wintertime, like I said, I'm just going with the narrative. Just things didn't work out well for the Russians. Anyway, so I gave the Austro-Hungarians one less demoralization point. So in other words, it's going to make them look good in the papers, like holy smokes, this is impressive. And I gave the Russians 2 demoralization points. So it didn't work very well, and you're about to find something else that didn't work very well, and I should have well, I'm yet again doing the narrative. So like I said, what I was doing with the 8th Army here, Brusilov's 8th Army, I was instructed via the satellite communications thing for the 8th Army to start withdrawing back after they lost Stanislau over here. And Brusilov, who's in my world certainly not the way it's been going was historically, not doing very good. I mean, he even got fired actually from the 8th Army. It was under the control of Anatoly Rosenshield there from the 3rd Army, I do believe, and more or less got reinstated and is now trying to kind of reclaim his thing. It's a long story, but anyways, things are not working out again. He should have anyways, at least did one little proper good thing, and I'll explain it to you in a minute. Son of a bitch. So anyways, we did not have aerial reconnaissance here. It was all down in the south to find out what was going on near Cernovitz, and should have clued in that the Austro-Hungarians mean business, and I'll explain to you why they mean business. And certainly the Russians should not have done what they did. Brusilov should not have tried this. It sounded good at the beginning, and I was just like, man, this is not good. Anyways, at least the good thing was we did not try to go after Stanislau, because I remembered that even though there's no longer a trench, there's devastated area, so the Austro-Hungarians don't get the benefit of, like, you know, any of that defensive bits. It's still a city center, and they still get, as far as I know, they still get the broken terrain. So what ends up happening is, well, hold on here, for the city center, it's pretty bad. Where are you here? Where are you here? Where are you here? City center. I think it's 1/2. Where are you? I don't see you written down here. You should be. But it's 1/2. Anyways, the attacking strength points get chopped in half. And as far as I remember, the Austro-Hungarians would not have to retreat unless I matched that or exceeded the number of strength points that the infantry strength points they had. Anyways, we weren't going to go after Stanislau, like I said, because of that a bit. So we thought, hey, let's take a chance and assume that the Austro-Hungarians probably didn't have a lot of troops here, and they were putting most of their troops here when they went after Stanislau. That being said, I should have clued in that they probably were using troops from here as well in a joint attack when they were going across. One little thing I'll talk a little bit about, which I do find problematic with Der Weltkrieg and many other rule systems regarding rivers. This bothers me, especially with a major river here. I'll talk about it in a second. But anyways, so Brusilov decided to, hey, let's see if we can try and take this position, force them to retreat, take the position, and odds are this is going to be it just looked like this would have been some form of HQ, which it is. That being said, so the 8th Brusilov did move some troops around. Like I said, did not retreat, just taking a chance here. They're all entrenched positions still, and we're also attacking an entrenched position. So what does that mean? I get -2 to my die roll, and I have to match or exceed the number of strength points, infantry strength points that they have in there. Remember, I didn't know they had 9, and that's the big kicker. I was like, shit. The other thing is, when I went and took a look at what the Austro-Hungarians did go in against in Stanislau, like I'll tell you the big difference here. They went in with 52 total attacking strength points. and that got chopped in half down to 26. So in other words, like I said, they mean business. So there's probably a lot of troops sitting here. There's no way in hell I'm going to get Stanislau in a long, long time. This was even a stupid move, but I have to go with it, and that's just the way it is. And it's going to be especially deadly due to the fact that I haven't reduced taken out the points yet here. They've got 10 supply points. I'm going to use up 5 to the Austro-Hungarians are going to use up 5 to fully supply the counterattack, because it's going to be 5 just due to the fact it's rounded up. So it would have been 4 for the 8 because it's 2 supply infantry strength points for a counterattack per supply point, not 4 for the attack. Anyways, so we're going in again in clear terrain, oddly enough, due to the fact that it's clear, and I've broken the river bonus due to the fact that I've got at least 1 troop across. I do just find that a bit odd due to the fact that it's a major river, and a major river, if all my troops were across, would be would cause a lot more grief than a minor river, and even causes major grief for movement. I can't, for example, I wouldn't be able to move, let's say, these troops, if I could, let's say from here over across to here, because I'd be going from one enemy zone of control to the other. I could move, let's say, for these guys to here, but you get the idea. I couldn't do that stuff. Anyways, I have to go with this, so this sucks. I didn't realize the Austro-Hungarians really have a lot of troops here. This is going to not bode well for me. And the other thing, like I said, with my new CRT, it's going to be brutal against, and I have to play it out. I'm going to use this, even though if it's got issues, maybe I'll fix it for next month. But I've already used it for the Germans and the Austro-Hungarians for that turn, and I'll play it out for the month. And we'll just go from there and we'll see how it works. And if it's causing a major wrinkle, well, it's not the end of the world. This is not like some tournament game or something or whatever. It's just, you know, me having fun, for crying out loud, and learning things and just doing whatever the hell I want to do. I'm just having fun, really. Anyways, just having a sip of coffee before I finish off. So that's really it. And like I said, I've got... So let's just roll. This sucks. Like I said, this is not gonna, the only thing I can do is maybe a slight dent. And I'll see if you can see the roll. I think you can. Good. All right. Here we go. Remember, this is a D12. I'm not doing the developer rules. So it's a 9, and I get no. I get the -2 to the die roll due to the fact of the entrenchment, but that's it. What I get with my D12 system. I'll just let you know. I don't know if I can. Hold on, I'm going to get it first. I find it. Where the hell are you? Not this one. Not this one. Not this one. All right. Oh, you're over here. Okay. So that's like I said. I'm going in with. And one of those strength points, believe it or not, is an Opolchany unit, a militia unit, so I can't even use them for attacks, so just for defensive purposes. So I'm only going in with 16. And what do I get on a 16? I do believe. And I rolled a 9, but it's a 7. So in my universe, I'll do 3 hits, because I'd need to get down to an 8 to get that 4th hit. I hope you can see that. Hopefully that makes sense. So that I'll roll that off later, but that's probably no big woof to these guys. The only issue perhaps is that, like I said, they're going to blow 5 of their supply points, but we'll see how that goes. As far as I remember, the Germans still owe them 5 supply points. I'll take a look. Anyways, now we're going to do the counterattack, which is going to be horrid, because it's, like I said, it's going to be 27. They don't get any die roll modifier. The entrenchment doesn't work for them that way. But the Austro-Hungarians are certainly going to go back and give them a good smack. Well, perhaps not. Maybe it's just a 1. Let's see what happens. Well, it's an 8. And what do they do on an 8 with a 27? It's probably pretty bad. Yep, they do 7 hits. I don't know if you can see that. So that's, what did I say? 3 hits to 7. So which is pretty brutal, considering that's almost half the losses for the Russians. So that's it. Now I'm going to go off to the Third Army, and what I'm going to do is try to remember what I didn't do with Brusilov, and that is, unless I've got overwhelming amount of infantry and whatnot, just like the Austro-Hungarians did over here when they went in with 52. Like I said, they knew that in fact that was going to get chopped in half because they were attacking through a city center. But they meant business, and that's what I have to remember about the other attacks as well. Same as what the Germans did. They went up there and were able to do precisely that. And when we get up to the 7th Army for the Russians near Memel, that's exactly what they're trying to do there. They've got some amazing amount of strength points sitting there. I think how many they've got sitting there? 20, 40, 60. Nearly 70 strength points sitting up there. They mean business as well. So that's when I have to remember what to do. Bloody hell, this is fun. All right, hope you're having fun. See ya.